My name is Anett-Patrice van York. I'm a German citizen. I'm a press photographer and an investigative journalist, and this is my Monaco abuse testimony. I moved to the Côte d'Azur to Upper Monaco, Beausoleil, France in 2014, and I was then registered with Monaco's government, and I was accredited with the Palace of Monaco as a press photographer. In December 2016, I was organizing a Nobel homage for very ill former Prime Minister of Monaco, Michel Roger. And that's when I discovered the first defaming emails and text messages against me, which were sent all over Monaco to sabotage my event and to destroy my reputation. They were sent out by this evil woman, Wendy Lawyers, from Wendy Lawyers Arts event and Azur Nacre events. And Lawyers inspired her friend Calypso de Sigaldi to do the same. Sigaldi even called the government to stop my homage. It was an impertinence. The homage happened anyway, but with only half of my artists and 1/5 of my invited guests. In February 2017, I was severely attacked by Monaco's brutal and arrogant police. The names of the attackers are Regis Alexandre and Nicolas Silov. I'm a serious crime survivor. I survived many evil crimes all over the world because I lived in dangerous cities like New York, London, Paris, etc. And I panic immediately when I get verbally or especially physically attacked. These two officers attacked me because I refused to go with them to get locked up after my dog accidentally peed in the corridor of the restaurant Sailors in the Grimaldi Forum. It was a setup. I was severely beaten up. I got locked up overnight. I had over 40 injuries all over my body, a heavy concussion for months, dislocated shoulders, an injured back and knees. One tooth died now because of the heavy impact. My hands and legs are still numb today. My shoulders never healed, and the same with my back and knees. Until today, my body is still severely injured, maybe for life. I asked Monaco for help since I had no health insurance yet in France, but no help was ever given. When I recognized that Monaco didn't care at all, I contacted immediately Angela Merkel for my protection, and my government then wrote a letter to Monaco's Ministry of State, but the letter was of course never answered. My German embassy in Paris sent then their former director of justice over to Monaco for me, but he only got the answer that the case was in process. Nothing was in process except the cover-up of Monaco's severe crimes. I was told that none of the many CCTV cameras were apparently working that night, which is a big lie. There are many cameras in and outside of the Grimaldi Forum, and the witness list is until today blocked by Bradley Mitten from the Viva Nova Club. I went out with his members that night. Because Bradley Mitten blocked the witness list, I put postings with my police photos of my injuries on several internet outlets to find witnesses. And because I made Monaco's severe police violence public, I got all of a sudden arbitrarily arrested everywhere in Monaco. I counted in over 1 year more than 150 incidents against me with thousands of people connected. I can only mention a few here. On June 4th, 2017, the secretary of the Princess Charlene Foundation named Christian Kahn had me arbitrarily arrested as a potential threat to Prince Albert of Monaco, what is completely absurd. After this mean woman, Celine Lafuente de la Vota, who writes for the Monaco Reporter, a pseudo-journalist, wrote my artist name on a piece of paper instigating the arrest. The photographer Claudia Albuquerque saw how de la Vota gave my name to Christian Kahn to have me arrested. I was severely harassed, bullied and humiliated in front of hundreds of people. I was locked up in the police station for hours. I was treated like a criminal. Mugshots left, right, front were taken of me while I was crying from so much humiliation. These old police guys even made fun of my breasts because I didn't wear a bra. Their behavior was more than low class and disgusting. After being locked up for hours so that I missed the event, I was then deported from Monaco with the sentences that I'm not welcome in Monaco anymore, and I was told to shut up, otherwise they would imprison me. That day I had my VIP wristband and the permission of the Waterbike Riviera director, who co-organized the event with the Princess Charlene Foundation to take photos. I did nothing wrong, and I was treated like a criminal, and I was illegally deprived of my liberty. And it was confirmed by the police that this arbitrary arrest and the deportation was monitored by Prince Albert of Monaco. I was asking also here Monaco's government for help, but no excuse, help or repair was ever given. I asked the Princess Charlene Foundation for a meeting, but Christian Khan always denied herself. Her assistant Kimberly Jarvis even slammed the door in my face when I passed by because none of my letters were ever answered. Also, Garrett Wittstock, the brother of Charlene and the director of her foundation, never followed through with his meeting promises, and Charlene never answered any letter of mine either. When I asked Monaco's government for help, they didn't answer with any help, but with the total destruction of my existence. Nasty emails defaming me everywhere were sent all around Monaco to destroy all my press accreditations and all my connections. All my press connections and work that I built up in the last 7-8 years were all destroyed in one day. All my accreditations were all of a sudden destroyed with tons of pretexts and lies in and outside of Monaco. I never saw and heard so many lies in my whole life. And people I hardly knew or didn't know at all turned all of a sudden against me also. They could have helped, but they decided to go on the evil side to destroy me even more. This shows how low class all of these people in Monaco are. All of these people are co-responsible for the unbearable nightmare that was created for me. And I never did anything to these people. I was always nice, friendly and diplomatic to everybody. These are people who witnessed the ongoing arbitrary arrests and people who got manipulated against me by Monaco's government. The bullying became so much that I got panic attacks leaving my home each time, not knowing if I get arbitrarily arrested again, if I get severely bullied and harassed again, if I get thrown out and humiliated again in front of hundreds of people. In July 2017, I was thrown out of the Opera Gallery in Monaco. I had my invitation, I was on the list, and I was well dressed as usual. I was thrown out in front of a lot of important people and press with a silly pretext that I wasn't well dressed enough for a prince. It was an absolute impertinence. Prince Albert was supposed to attend that evening. He knows me since 2014. I was registered with Monaco's government and always saw him a few times a week as a press photographer, and I always dressed in the same classic chic style. A few days later, it was confirmed by the director of the gallery, Damien Simonelli, that it was an order of the Carabiniers of the Prince. Prince Albert ordered to have me thrown out of the gallery. I didn't even know he was coming, and I had the right to be there. Of course, I was then taken off the press list from the Opera Gallery as well afterwards. Prince Albert is best friends with the tyrant Vladimir Putin, and he takes his Russian dictator friend as a role model to destroy all truth-tellers who tell the truth about Monaco's severe ongoing crimes against humanity. I wrote Albert several letters afterwards telling him that it was an impertinence to have me thrown out and to have me arrested non-stop arbitrarily and to destroy my work constantly when I do nothing wrong. Of course, the letters were never answered. Albert of Monaco abuses his power severely, and he destroys innocent artists who have already a hard time to come by every month. He destroyed my life, he destroyed my soul, and he destroyed now the life of my precious dog too. In March 2017, at a peace and sport event in the yacht club in Monaco, the first time I went out after the serious police assault against me, my body was still seriously injured. I was physically escorted out of a group picture ordered by Albert of Monaco because I was coincidentally standing right behind him. And many orders he gave to destroy my accreditations, my reputation and my life, just because I said the truth about the severe police violence in Monaco, of which I'm a severe victim. The arbitrary arrests, the ongoing bullying against me and the ongoing work destruction continued, and another event out of many was in November 2017 at the Hotel Hermitage, where I was physically attacked by Monaco's police again, arrested and thrown out. And when I got locked up again for hours, I was only quietly waiting in the hotel lobby to give an important letter to my German ambassador, Mr. Meyer-Landrut, asking for help, because the ongoing bullying became so serious that my health got seriously affected. Philippe Bodengo, one of Albert of Monaco's security guards, I met him many times privately before, was present. I screamed his name for help. The moment I was physically attacked again by the police, he didn't care at all. He walked off and left me to my misery. Also, the Monaco police system and the Justice Department, including the government, are severely corrupt, and the police detective named Cleric only covered up his colleagues' crimes by declaring falsely that I was aggressive. I'm not aggressive at all, I hate violence, and convinced this corrupt former Director of Justice, Philippe Namino, and Jacques Dorimieux, former Attorney General, to dismiss my charges. Together with a fake psychological statement, a psychologist named Valérie Huet was hired to also go against me, and Namino claimed then falsely that the police violence and the arbitrary arrests never happened. And this impertinent police officer, Christophe David, and his colleagues had lots of fun bullying and insulting me all the time. All press is bought in Monaco, especially Monaco Matin, who put an extremely defaming press article about me into their paper, signed by Jean-Marie Fiorucci. Fiorucci never appeared in court, never met me, or studied my numerous evidence. Monaco's crimes are covered up, and no lawyer was ever given to me by the legal aid department to properly take on my case. Most of them declined. They are all bought by the system. In the meanwhile, all my phones and internet were wiretapped. I was put on the blacklist, and I was followed and supervised. I was constantly, and I still get harassed at events. I was treated like an enemy of state. None of my letters to Albert or to Monaco's government were ever answered. No excuse or meeting or repair was ever given. Monaco pretends that nothing ever happened, and Albert always declines all violations against human rights. The serious harassments are going on until today, and because of the intentional destruction of all my work, Prime Minister Serge Telle admitted in a letter to Anne Eastwood of the High Commissariat, Eastwood herself another dubious corrupt entity, that Monaco ordered the destruction of all my accreditations. Because of that, I lost my apartment this summer. I was homeless for a few months, and nobody in Monaco with an apartment with spare rooms helped. Absolutely nobody. The only possibility to relocate myself was destroyed also by this evil black guy Clarence John from Monaco's dragon boats. Also, the so-called friends were all gone all of a sudden, but I was interesting to them when I was registered with the government and when I had all kinds of invitations. I lost my French bank account. I have no more income. Welfare from France was declined, which is completely against the law. I have no resources, no finances. My health insurance was cut off, which is also completely against the law. I have nothing left anymore. Also at the Oceanographic Museum, where I am a member, Albert of Monaco ordered to have me seriously harassed and thrown out multiple times when I had my invitation, when I was on the list. I was severely harassed several times by Barbara Lorenzi, press assistant of the palace and the palace crew. And just a few days ago, I was harassed again by Barbara Lorenzi when I was only quietly at a Christmas event at the Hotel de Paris, which was open for the public. And at the yacht club in Monaco, there's also an ongoing harassment against me going on. When I have my invitation, when I'm on the list, I get supervised, followed, harassed, thrown out. It's an impertinence. Also there, none of my letters were ever answered. Also to mention is Julia Burke, former press assistant of the Amber Lounge. She works now for SBM, Société des Bains de Mer Monaco. Burke sent defaming emails against me all over Monaco, and her successor, Olga Barale at Amber Lounge, continues to harass me and to destroy me, and to destroy all my accreditations now too. I informed the SBM about Burke, what Burke did to me, and Jean-François Mariotte, Human Resources SBM, only started to threaten me. Just recently, on November 16, 2018, I was arbitrarily arrested again when I did nothing wrong. I was aggressively handcuffed in my own home by the police of Menton when I was just hanging out quietly with my dog. I was then put in several hospitals, Hospital Pasteur and several sections of Sainte-Marie, strapped onto a bed. I was put in solitary confinement for 2 long weeks. I was aggressed every day, 6 guys jumping on me, forcing a dangerous drug into my veins called Loxapac. and I'm a non-drug taker and I had serious complications before. I begged them not to inject me with any drugs because Monaco did that to me once legally as well, and I had severe side effects afterwards. They didn't care and injected me anyway, and injected me every day with aggressive force until my stomach and digestion got so sick that they had to stop the drug and that they had to put me on a strict non-solid food, only bouillon diet. Not only I was 24/7 in solitary confinement, supervised non-stop, not being allowed to go outside, and I was strapped 24/7 to the bed without being allowed to have any pillows, socks or a scarf, but also I got extremely weak from not eating. Also, I asked the Hospital Sainte-Marie that I can make phone calls to find my dog. My dog was put in some kind of shelter and nobody told me where. But also that was declined and my dog was left in extreme danger for days. Every single day I was asking for my dog, but every single day I got no answer whatsoever. On November 23rd, they finally announced the death of my dog to me. The police of Menton put my dog in a shelter in Nice, Route du Mont-Chauve, called Falicon, where they put all kinds of dogs in freezing cold cages, abandoned day and night in there, with tons of severely barking big dogs around who are frightening. This shelter is a dangerous money-making machine and very dangerous for sensitive breeds. I told the police not to put my dog, a French bulldog, a very sensitive breed, into any cage, and they didn't care and put her into her certain death. My dog froze brutally to death and died from fear and a heartache. I was liberated on November 30th, I don't know by whom. I sneaked my info out before to my government and to other important international authorities. I was finally liberated, but it was too late for my dog. They finally admitted that I was no candidate for such hospitals. These hospitals made me severely sick and traumatized me deeply. I'm in a serious post-trauma now, and my poor dog is dead. After 2 weeks of serious trauma, I'm left now on my own, having to deal with the severe disaster they created for me on my own. And all this only because a social worker called Dominique, who works at the CCAS Roquebrune Cap Martin, falsely claimed that I wanted to jump out of a window. I'm not suicidal. That was another mean setup for which my precious dog had to pay with her precious life now. I never met this woman before. I only called the CCIS 3 times to get help, to get food, because I had no more finances. When I passed by the other day to tell her how I was tortured and to show her the photos of my dead dog, she denied herself at first until I insisted, and she then came finally forward just to tell me that she could care less. I was endlessly tortured for 2 weeks. She killed my soul and she killed my dog. The police of Menton is responsible as well for the death of my dog, as well as the hospitals who didn't let me make any phone calls to find and save her, and also Monaco, who created this whole nightmare for me. Monaco also influences the whole Côte d'Azur to cover up for them. The police of Roquebrune even claims they are Monaco. What is absurd. My life is completely destroyed and I'm completely traumatized. I have ongoing nightmares and serious ongoing panic attacks, and nobody helps. I put a Go-Get funding and a GoFundMe campaign up, but nobody helps. I need to pay the autopsy for my dog and her cremation, and I don't know how. I need to pay legal fees to finally get justice, and I can't do that without any money either. Please see the links before and share and help. The shelter Falicon, who murdered my dog, has still the body of my dog. They were pretty aggressive with me. They refused to give me the body last time with some silly excuses. They even refused at first to show me her body and to show me the cage where she was found dead, apparently. I had to call the police, who didn't come, so that I can at least see her body. They didn't allow me to take pictures either. I took them anyway. My dog is still my property, and I saw my dog's body mutilated. Frozen blood is coming out of her mouth. Her left front elbow is broken, and several slits are on her back from angular objects. The whole thing is extremely heartbreaking and a pure nightmare. After all this nightmare they created for me, I have to fight now even for the body of my dog, my property. My dog was the only thing I had left in my life. My life has become a pure nightmare because of Monaco. I never experienced such an ongoing and serious abuse in my life, and I lived all over the world, including 14 years in New York. The government and the justice system in Monaco are completely corrupt. Monaco is no state of law. Freedom of speech is suppressed and punished. Mental and physical attacks against me are ongoing. Monaco's mafia is dangerous. Truth tellers are harassed and destroyed non-stop in Monaco without any mercy. But we must stand up for our rights, not to let these bastards win. I gathered over 2,000 documents together, legal documents, medical documents, voice recordings, photo and film recordings, various witness letters, all proof of this serious ongoing abuse in Monaco. I sent the most important ones to my government for my security, to several other international authorities, and to a very reliable press source. Other international press associations are informed as well and are investigating into Monaco deeply. And in case something will happen to me, they will press the release button. They might press the release button even before. I know my life is in danger and I will never kill myself. In case an accident, entre guillemets, happens one day, my government and my international security net that I built around me know that I was murdered by Monaco. All abusers' names are on several lists published in previous videos by Anonymous Monaco. My case is one of many. I met many victims of Monaco's gruesome, barbaric dictatorship. Monaco is committing serious ongoing violations against all human rights. Over 150 evil incidents against me in over 1 year, and now they even killed my dog. How much can one person take? Please share and help. Thank you.